Hello, everybody, and welcome to my stream with you, my audience. And I'm not late. I'm actually like 3 seconds early. Goeienaand, luisteraars. No, Brian, Cyril's half an hour late if he pitches, and he always has bad things to tell people. He never has anything good to say, and I think everyone freaks out before he talks. Yes, like Sebastian was here like 20 minutes, excuse me, 20 minutes before everyone. Sorry about my Rona cough. Biker check, goeienaand, ma'am. How are you doing? Keith and Stephen. Stephen and I were actually kind of neighbors. There was a house between where I grew up and where he grew up. So we're from the same street, from the streets of the east of Pretoria, the southeast of Pretoria. Hello, Graham. Graham, I need to make you a fucking moderator, but I can't do that on StreamYard. No, I'm too lazy to go to YouTube now. Sorry about that. Gentle Inflatables, goeienaand. Marco, kry vir jou fucking wiki. Did yours arrive yet? Everything, geez, like everything shipped today. A whole bunch of more orders for caps came in this afternoon late, and I've just been trying to process some of them. It never ends. Like, thank you to everyone that has purchased. You've been keeping me very, very busy to such an extent that I haven't even gotten to writing my article that I'm busy with writing, which is really comparing gun ownership, the war on guns, comparing that to the war on alcohol and tobacco in South Africa. And I think it makes a few pertinent points. So, Jeremy. Okay, Brian, so here's the bombshell. So tomorrow night on Whiskey Friday, it's myself, Mareka, Brian, the usual three, plus Roman, plus special guest, Jeremy from Germ Warfare, who's going to be there with us. So we're going to be a fivesome, not a foursome. But 5 and 4 start with the same letter, so that's cool. I'm happy with that. Jeepers, sorry guys, I'm just keeping up with Daniel, Ferdi, everyone. I'm banning nothing tonight, but there is... Oh, Pashlane is fired, by the way. Former commissioner of police, Pashlane, got his marching orders today. He should be locked up, but I don't think he will be. Pule, good evening, sir. And I look forward to seeing you in person next week at CHS Guns and Ammunition in Somerset West. Invite stands. Just check in with me before. I'm not going to be there Monday and Tuesday. I might be there from Thursday, Friday, definitely. I'm not sure about Wednesday yet. What do you say, Graham? I can make you regret making me a mod if you'd like. No, I'm sure you'll do just fine. You'll try not to be drunk. Really? Yeah. How many episodes of the show have you watched? Oh, Julie, good evening. Wait for answer for you. Who's behind the farm murders, Malema? Well, it's not quite as simple as that. There's obviously, with farm murders, a big political side to it. And there are politically motivated attacks on farmers. Let's not act like there aren't. A hell of a lot of it. Violent confrontational crime in a rural setting. And the brutality with it is not unique, unfortunately, in SA. Is if you are at the mercy of violent sadists, bad shit's going to happen to you, especially if you're isolated in a rural area. But that's a whole thing we'll unpack again in another farm attack stream and video. 8 p.m. tomorrow night. The 8 p.m. time slot seems to be working quite well for people on a Friday for some reason. The other good news. Okay, rumor. But I think we'll probably establish this by tomorrow. I don't know how many of you are sitting with expired firearm licenses, but amnesty allegedly approved, possibly from the 1st of August, firearm amnesty. So what does this mean? Most of you that have followed me for some time know that I'm usually humongously outspoken against amnesties because they're bullshit, mostly. In this case, it's a method for you to get your gun back. Now, there are a lot of technical points about this, and I will unpack this with Motivus. We had a chat, myself and Max, and we said that in the event of this amnesty happening, in a way to help people make use of it to keep their guns, to keep their property. we're going to put together a package, an information thing. We might even do a live stream on it. In fact, we probably should do a live stream on it. I'll do a video. He'll write something. Sorry, my dad's just calling me. I'll call him back. And we'll help people get through this quagmire in one piece. But the reality is, let's just... And Jan-Hendrik, I agree. In fact, let's not fix the IT system. We need license the person, register the firearm. That's what we actually need in this country, and we're going to be pushing for that. But until such time as we can get that ready, we need to save who we can save and help people keep their guns now. What we need to do is... Sorry, my brain is Swiss cheese today. What we need to do is help people keep what they have right now. And amnesties have certain pitfalls. Remember one thing about an amnesty. If you hand your gun into the cops to apply for a license, you're not applying for a renewal. You're effectively handing it over to them. It goes into... there's a different term for the transfer of ownership. It kind of goes into sort of a limbo of state property. So it's not yours anymore. Okay, that's what you need to understand. You are applying for a brand new license. Mareike, thank you for your super chat. You are applying for a brand new license for a gun that used to be yours. Okay, understand this. Understand also there's no guarantee that you're going to get that license. However, which is why motivating for it properly, having a proper motivation annexures is highly important. Do not fuck that up. But we'll talk about how. What you need to understand is that if your motivation is strong, they refuse you can appeal it. If appeal doesn't work, you can take it for judicial review, but there are ways to help you keep your property. Also, bear in mind that the parts that you need to hand in, and we're going to unpack this, so this is not my final word on it, but bear in mind that the parts that constitute the firearms are the barrel, the frame, and the receiver. You are not allowed to have the slide. That's a control part, unless you have license for a gun on which that slide fits. But you can surrender that slide to another person that has a license for the same type of gun, or sell it to them or whatever. You can take all the springs out. You can take the trigger out. You can take the hammer out. You can take the sights off. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. Those are all your property. You can keep those. All you need to surrender are the serial number parts: barrel, frame, receiver. Okay. And if you don't have a license, or if you don't have anything to do with the slide, you're going to have to surrender it with a slide as well. But essentially, you can come with a Ziploc bag with a barrel and a frame of a Glock in it, surrender that in the amnesty, and apply for a license for that, because that constitutes legally the firearm. Okay, so that's the way forward with this amnesty, possibly. We don't know if the amnesty has been approved 100% yet. I've heard through reliable sources that it is approved, but let's first see. But if it is, I suggest we grab the situation. We try and help as many people keep their guns as possible. That's me. That's all I've got to say about it. So, yeah. Let me just check the comment section. Some of you guys are fighting in the comments. Jeremy Mareike is the alt-right's ATM. Mareike is probably the only one of us, Jeremy, that does honest work for a living. Well, between her and Brian. But Brian will probably admit that he does honest work for a living. I do now. I work in a gun shop now. So for the first time in my life, I'm doing honest work for a living. Excellent, Marvin. Thank you for getting back to me with this. Let me know if there's anything I can do. Look, there's a couple of other things I've had off the top of my head. It's becoming, with everything going on, it's becoming difficult for me to answer emails. So I'm thinking I should just do more live streams and invite people that have questions to come onto the live streams and rather ask me questions in the comments, or send me emails and then say, okay, cool, I'm going to do a live stream on this topic. Rather tune in, and then you can interact like that. Because right now, my day, as of 2 days ago, my days have just gone ridiculous in a good way. Okay, it's not bad to be this busy. Brian, hand in a bag of gun. That's exactly it. It is my absolute pleasure, sir. You two behave in the comment section. Marco, how do you carry in your car when dry appendix? How do you overcome the seatbelt issue? I carry appendix. You just have to be aware of one thing, like you're going to struggle drawing, might struggle with the seatbelt a bit. Otherwise, train to and practice to get the seatbelt off. But there are ways. Sit in your car with a blue gun in your holster and figure it out a little bit, or with your empty defensive gun and figure it out. 6 frame has no serial number. That's an interesting one. It should have a serial number somewhere. That's very curious, because the frame definitely, even though it doesn't have a serial number, the frame is going to constitute a part, I'm sure, a firearm part. Your M&P doesn't have a serial number of the barrel, so what then? That's also interesting, because the barrel definitely is part, even though it doesn't have a serial number on it. It is part of it. Is a fire. It constitutes a firearm according to the act. So I have no idea, Daniel. That's a freaking good question. If somebody knows in the comments, please tell me, because as much as I'd like to say I've got all the answers, I don't. Oh, Brian, he works his big ass to the bone. Indeed, you do. Hello, Laurie. I love your handle, intensive care. Why are you on Facebook though, Brian? Why are you not commenting on the YouTubes like a civilized person? Yeah, it seems there's a lot of things that don't have serial numbers. Question. The statement results when doing competency. I've done shotgun, rifle, and pistol years ago. I only got certificates with my SL competency. I got statement results. So must I redo shotgun? I don't. See, this is one of these bizarre things. Most of us didn't get statements of results. I mean, I never, ever, ever got a statement of results for my original competencies with my original competency certificates, and they're absolutely fine. I don't think it's going to be an issue. You won't have to redo them. And no, unless your training provider is unaccredited or was found to be fraudulent or something. But if that's a real concern, Dion, get in touch with Max Rosley from Motivus as well. He helped me through a similar issue that I had with a training provider that was lost its accreditation. And I was stressed that it was going to cause me issues. So I did something that was a recognition of prior learning, an RPL. And yeah, Sebastian, I'm terrible with Facebook Messenger, bro. Like worse than I'm with WhatsApps, which is ask Brian. That is, I'm terrible with WhatsApp. I'm semi-serviceable with email. And I'm horrible with Facebook Messenger. Do I need a PA? Dude, if I start earning, if Parata starts becoming so fucking busy, look, it already is. I already do need a PA. I can't afford one right now. But give me some time. Order more. Listen, the way it's going now, I sold about 25% of my stock in 2 days. It's been nuts. The lead time for replenishment is like 7 days. I'm phoning them tomorrow to order more, because people want, and it's people are buying. But clearly the web store is working really well. I've had no complaints. I've had a whole bunch of compliments that it's really easy. It's quite secure. It links up really nicely with me on the back end. The courier guy is an absolute pleasure to use. And the way billing is a doddle. So it's just a bit labor intensive, but I'll get into the groove of it. I see Laurie has the same problem as Sebastian. Sorry, guys. I know I'm terrible. Just hurl rocks at me when you see me next. Hi, Laura. She's like, Jeremy. Okay, you two, you and Mareka are really already getting into Whiskey Friday, and it's Puzza Thursday. Probability of government disarming law-abiding citizens. They've been trying for nearly 3 decades. The only reason they haven't succeeded is because we refuse to be disarmed. And even though we are a horrible, horrible bunch of infighting, egocentric fuckers in the farms community, we are still kind of a family, and we do tend to stick together when it counts. And we definitely stick together better than anyone in the alcohol industry and anyone in the tobacco industry. Which, you know, I think I would have always imagined smokers would like be this impenetrable wall of don't fuck with our smoke. Same with drinkers, but they need to learn from us. I can't believe I'm saying that. Hey, like I enjoy pointing my Glock 19, like comparing the length between the two. It works for me. Timber, how's it, sir? May I ask something outside of the amnesty? I have an SD app that is 163 working days, still received that licensing with no movements. Okay. So yours sounds like, and I don't know if this is something you'd want to do. Motivus on Facebook. Find them. The man behind Motivus is, and let me just put the Timber. Let me just put the hang on. Let me just put their name up so it'll scroll at the bottom of the screen. Get in comms with them. I mean, get in touch with them. They will help you with this. It might help if Mux sends an official inquiry on your behalf to get their ass moving. That does sometimes deliver results without having to go full legal on them. So Mux is good people. He's done an appeal for me. He's done motivations for most of my friends. His stuff works. He is not overly expensive. He's not a cookie cutter. I trust the man hugely with a lot of stuff. Darren, good evening. So good to see you here. Sebastian's Facebook's for boomers. The SIG is modular, so serial number is on the trigger. Oh God. Okay. All right. Then that screws you from taking the trigger mechanism out, because then it'll be like a serialized part of the frame. Although I suppose one can still. This is why I need to do a stream with Mux on this. He is terrible with all fucking messages. Thank you, Brian. Well, this is true. I am terrible with all messages. It's a miracle. It's a miracle anyone gets hold of me ever. I know. Like, the hoodies are coming soon. I'm chatting to them tomorrow. They have been manufactured. They are being manufactured. They just need to make it to me. I'm expecting them to ship to me tomorrow, so then I can upload them on the store hopefully next week. Please keep fingers crossed for me. There we go, Sven. Any competencies done between 23? Do not need the results. That was it. Slide barrel frame receiver, or pardon the pun, policed parts, serial numbers or not. Slide barrel frame receiver or police parts, serial number or not. No license for them means you found with them. You can put it on unlicensed farms. Strip the gun and hand in those three components. If intended, and leave the rest in the desk drawer. I just have to say, with regards to the slide, if you, for example, have two Glock 19s like I do, the slide of because I got a spare slide, for example, which is just a slide, I'm not allowed to possess that slide if I do not have a license for a gun that slide can fit on. I'm pretty sure you could probably get away with keeping the slide, but I'll get legal opinion on that. But as Jay says, those are the parts you have to hand in. You can remove everything else. In fact, recommend everything else. Sorry, Julia, I don't quite understand the question. Minority-owned guns, minority of whom, people or farmers? Because that's the part I'm not quite getting. Dude, no. 25% of stock gone in like 24 hours is good sales. Believe me. I see Anton Stechman's in the house. Your cap is also shipped, sir. You should be getting it tomorrow, I hope. If you haven't already gotten it today, please let me know. I'm just catching up on comments. Sorry, guys. Off topic. I'm not current anymore. My license expired yesterday. This Corona will be the end of us. No more flying. Dude, my license expired. My ATPL expired end of June. End of June, I think. Or was it end of July? No, it was end of June. End of June. So, yeah. And I don't really expect to see the inside of a cockpit anytime soon. I mean, I have allegedly a job waiting for me, but it's not quite that straightforward, as you know. This has wrecked the airline industry. Herman, thank you very much for your super chat. I will put it on the screen shortly. I mean, the CEO of Fly Sapphire said the domestic capacity at the moment is 6%. 6%. If only Sapphire was operating, they'd be operating at 23% capacity. That's after 4 months of 3 months of 0%. It's a nightmare. Indeed, we are. hang on, guys. I have a renewal that is now sitting on 380 days. Wow. My renewal took a year. Bear in mind, your license is valid until the renewal is finalized. Then the new license kicks in. And the longer it takes for them to approve, remember, you're winning time. So when they renew it, when they approve the renewal, that's the new date from which that license runs. So they don't backdate it. They date it from approval. So you're actually scoring time, which is quite cool. Gunners seem to be the same all around the world. They stand together, something to admire. Look, we do like giving each other shit a lot, Pule, but I think we do stand together when it counts. And that's the thing that I like. And I wish we just did that more. Must be the purpose of its license in the Republic of SA. Have the additional identification mark determined by the register stamp on the barrel frame or on the barrel. Yeah, I think you've cut straight to the core of the matter. Laura, I don't know why Batso doesn't argue in court why are smokers not filling impossible beds like government says, because smokers are still smoking. So Roman has an interesting opinion on the whole FETA thing, but we're going to discuss that soon. I don't quite want to jump the gun on this because it could be, I want to make sure we have all our ducks in a row. Mushluri, please tell me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Which types of firearm is best to start with if you're trying to start learning how to shoot? So it depends kind of what you want to achieve ultimately, but any gun that's available, and Brian's going to probably hopefully chip in and give his 2 cents worth as well, but any gun that that you have available to start practicing training with. But I'd say if you want to go into handguns, any modern 9mm caliber pistol is a good place to start. I mean, there are people that started with old CZ75s or Browning high powers, and that's all they could get, and they started shooting those things, and they learned their fundamentals off that. Other people started with more modern handguns, Glock 17s, Glock 19s, H&Ks, Smith & Wesson MP9s. Right now, I'm going to encourage you to start with whatever you can start with, and then figure it out from there, because it really is a journey. But we do have some articles on the Paratus website, I think under the category practical advice. If you want to scroll through it on paratus.info, you might find some stuff that might help and explain a couple of things. Next week, Wednesday, I don't think I'm doing anything, Herman. I'm sure you've got something planned, so please get in contact and we'll figure it out. Appeals issued your license. Actually, congratulations to Anton. His appeal finally came through, and you just need your card, and you can pick up your pew. It's a Glock 19, right? Refresh my memory, please. Email address, you can get me at, hang on, I'll let it scroll at the bottom. I've got 2. It's this one. You can get me there. Or if you want the official one, which I now have gotten access to again, you can probably hear me banging away at my keyboard in the background here. Hang on. Alternatively, if you want the official Paratus one that I also use, it's that one, info@paratus.info. So, you can get me at either of those. What is the position of having a blank gun and blank ammo? I don't know why. The only reason you'd want a blank gun and blank ammo is either you're using it as starter pistol for a marathon, or you're part of the film industry and you're busy filming an action scene. And there is, if people are of the opinion that it's going to be of any use defensively, no, definitely not. It's a terrible idea. Also, bear in mind, blanks don't cycle reliably, and there might be a lot of stuff you might have to do to the gun to make it cycle blanks reliably. I am indeed at CHS tomorrow. I do not ship to Germany at the moment, Sebastian, but I've got family in Deutschland, in Bremen, actually. And I can probably try and get it to them, and they can get it to you. Send me your address, bro. Send me your address. I'll try and make a plan for you. Special, because you're a long-term friend. And by the way, my fan in Louisiana, who already donated the super chat before this live stream even came on, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. I've got family in Mississippi as well. My uncle is there. If you want swag, you might be the only person in the United States that gets a Paratus cap or a hoodie, but we'll figure something out, and I can always try to get it to you as well. The shipping costs might be a bit shitty, but as soon as the anti-corona business is gone and we don't have 300 to 400% increase in shipping costs, it could actually make a plan. The Gideon government's been listening to you. The thing of implementing don't license the drink, license the drink. You see, I told you, they've never met a terrible idea they didn't like, and they'll take any good idea and twist it out of context and bend it back on you. Brian, I'm not even going to go down this particular horrible road. Inside jokes. Oziana flew an A380 just to keep the boys current. Fuck, wouldn't you know? That's a first world problem. Hi, Ashley. Good to see you, ma'am. My comments are only 6 minutes behind schedule. It's better than mine, like 12 minutes I was the other day. Got some awesome news today, Rick. My AR-15 classification change from a rifle to self-loading was finally done. 15 minutes of work, which took 5.5 months. Dude... Isn't our system just an administrative abortion? What is the rules leaving a firearm in your vehicle? There are guys sending SBS proofs play for your car, but what if your car... Okay, so there is a company called Nissi Safes. You actually do get a thing called a car safe, which has to meet certain criteria. It has to be SBS approved. There's a certain way it gets installed into the chassis. Completely legal. The thing is, if your car gets stolen with the gun in the car safe, you're not liable for any, you obviously lose the gun, which sucks, but you're not criminally liable for that because you did everything you had to do in order to comply with it. Car safes have their purpose. Believe me, I'm a big fan of them. There are many advocates that make use of them because they can't take their gun into court, but they also don't want to drive through the dodgy part of town unarmed. So that is an option for them. There are lots of other people that work in places where their workplace doesn't allow them to actually have a firearm on premises, but they also don't want to be unarmed. Car safe's a great option in that case. Yeah, it comes with the risks, but ultimately you're at least covered. And also, like I said, always have more than one gun, guys. Always have more than one defensive handgun. Use your Section 15, use your Section 16. Sven, kom kuier vir my. Hier op die plaas staan 'n paar vliegtye wat nie gevlieg word nie. At this stage, I'm so uncurrent, it might be the last thing I do, maar ek sal nooit nee sê nie, hoor. What happened today, Jason? Please tell us. Jason is my go-to guy in the restaurant industry. Emirates canned thousands of parts, so there goes every Safa's dream of flying a Starjet in the desert. Yeah, you know what? I never bought into the Dubai dream. That's probably made me a what do you call it? A freak of nature when it comes to the aviation industry, simply because every South African pilot wants to go fly for Emirates, except well, there were quite a few of us who don't actually wouldn't have wanted to do that. That's 490 days you scored, Rick. 490 days extra on your new license. Look at it that way. The longer they take with your renewal, the better, guys. Actually, it's not a bad thing. Just make sure you make copies of everything. Okay, I think Julie doesn't like us for some reason. I don't know what we did to offend her, but oops. I guess we can't make everybody happy. It happens. Opinion on Generation 3 Glock. Already have Gen 5, think of getting another one. Gen 3 is great. They really, I know guys that are still quite happily rocking Generation 1 Glock 17s, Generation 1 Glock 19s with probably close to hundreds of thousands of rounds through those barrels, and they're fine. They're absolutely fine. If you can get one, go for it. The Gen 5's fine as well, but all Glocks are what they are, but there's nothing wrong with the Gen 3. Are you in the toilet, Charles? Is that what you're trying to tell us euphemistically? Indeed, that's about FITA, by the way. We can somewhat talk about it well, we might unpack something tomorrow. Flights to Cape Town are ridiculously cheap now for authorized travel only, obviously. The cool thing is, if you Of course, that's what shall mean. If you are the owner of your own company, you can actually issue your own travel permits for business purposes. It's a thing. It works. It's legal. No one cares. Believe me. Well, Mango cares. Mango throws people off that sign their own permits. There was a thing in the news a while back, which just astounded me. It's like, how fucking stupid are you? Why would you not want to take people's money that paid for their tickets and then you bar them from boarding the flight because the permit, they're the director of the company or there's a sole proprietor. They sign their own permits and you'd bar them from boarding a flight because you think that their permit isn't valid. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons I don't work at that socialist mismanaged shit show anymore. And why I decided to leave for many reasons. I traded my water gun for a water cannon, shot all the cat. Thanks for the giggle. Zach, hello. Seems I'll shoot my first IPSC club match on the 8th. Going to be rusty. Dude, we're all going to be rusty. Believe me. But good. And we need to talk sunnies because shame. Zach managed to supply everyone in the live stream with really cool handmade wooden frame glasses. His product is awesome. He's going to make a special run for Paratus. It'll be limited, obviously, because he makes these things physically by hand himself. It's labor intensive, and his stuff is awesomely cool. I'm really looking forward to buying my own pair and selling some to you guys. Nothing wrong with Browning High Power. Absolutely nothing. Natalie, hello all. Late to the party. Question: if your license is for occasional sport shooting and you use it for self-defense, no, you won't be in the poo. I can tell you exactly why. Because the law says the firearm can be used for any legal purpose or any lawful purpose. That's it. That's all that we have to worry about. There's absolutely no poo to be worried about at all. You're fine. Promise. There's a lot of people that have all sorts of opinions on it, but it's because they're trying to read stuff into the law that doesn't exist, and that's unfortunately just one of those things people like doing, especially on gun forums. We love going in the circle debate about this sort of stuff. I'm not comfortable with my 7.65. It bites my thumb, but can't find a beaver tail grip. Laura, what 7.65 do you have? And whereabouts are you? Because if you are in Cape Town or in the Cape, pop into CHS. I'm there tomorrow. I'm there next week as well. And let's see what we can do. If you might want something more modern in a more conventional caliber, but it's up to you. No pressure. No pressure at all. Gideon, you ship me a cap and I will ship you a pair of stones. Oh, okay, sorry, Doc. I only saw that now. Yes, that sounds like like an unfair trade. You're definitely losing, but send me your address, please. We shall make it so, Captain Picard. Mareike, you bought your shadow today. Fantastic, ma'am. Well done. Congratulations. Something to celebrate tomorrow night. Do you have pictures? Are you going to bring pictures? Are you going to bring pictures of your new child? Laurie is drooling. Like, you two need to get a room. Everyone is saying bye-bye to Felicia. Enige aanbevelings waarom 'n goeie tweedehandse Glock 1719 te koop? Okay, everyone helps Sven out because there was a really nice Generation 3 Glock 17 at CHS, pre-owned, really awesome condition, and it didn't last long. It sold out quickly. However, here's the funny thing, okay? You are gonna pay for a good condition Gen 3. Gen 2, Gen 3, Glock 17, Glock 19, about 7.5. For a brand new one, you're going to pay about 9 to 10, around about there. If it's a big deal to save that 2,000 Rand, then it makes sense to get pre-owned. But if it isn't a big deal, then it kind of makes sense to go new. That's just from the inside looking out, but it's up to you as a consumer to make that decision. And Brian's been rocking his Gen 3 Glock 19 forever, and he loved it. He still loves it. Yes, but it's a kind of an automatic. The whole competency renewal thing, the SAPS doesn't understand. The competency is designed by law to actually run perpetually. in the sense of as long as you've got guns that apply, licenses that apply to the competency, every time you renew a license, the competency kind of automatically is extended unless you only have one license for that specific competency. Otherwise, they have this thing where they make you renew the competency when the first license expires. It's really nothing major. It's a small paperwork exercise. It's nothing to get upset about. It just grates me because every province, every police station, every province has its own interpretation of how this works. And the SAPs themselves can't seem to figure it out. And it's just idiotic. It's just an idiotic paperwork moroseness. Revisable 3, they gave us 1 extra hour of trading and no booze. Yeah, I saw that. The booze has to come back soon, bro. It has to, because, and I have it on good authority that it probably will come back soon. But yeah, it's not helping right now. It's helping nobody right now. Laura, you're nailing it, or you just nailed it. Mornay. Yeah. Home carry is a thing. I never leave mine locked in the safe. My defensive gun is always either on me or near me. And by near me, I mean in the realm of direct control of where I'm sitting, for this exact reason. Sir William S.A. Still rocking my Browning high power. If ammo gets low, you can still... there is nothing wrong. I've seen so many people do IPSC competitions with Browning high powers, and they do absolutely fine with them. I mean, sure, it's not exactly a modern handgun, but it's fine. If you are comfortable with it, if you're proficient of it, if you make it work for you, and if you train it, it's going to be 100% fine. You can also make a highly qualified specialist doctor a personal assistant. Yes, one can. If you write your permits in that way, Brian, you can indeed. I know that is an ouchie. I don't know if there are other platforms that do fit it, but yeah. Guys, I'm just skipping slightly ahead of the comments because I'm so far behind. Please stop talking about scoring days because of licenses taking so long. The government might just get the backlog time down to a week so they can increase revenue. God forbid they become efficient, right? We wouldn't want that. We wouldn't want that. Yeah, that's correct. You can't, if it's not a defensive gun, and you store it in the safe. But I don't. Yeah, it has to be. You can't store it loaded. Yes, it is indeed, Jay. That is actually such a typical observation. They are awesome. I own 2. They are as much fun as you think they are. They are awesome rifles and carbines, and the best value for money in SA with these things, or among the, I mean, I think there are ones you can get for more affordable, but at the stage of Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2s retailed for about $16K brand new, including that, which is a steal for it's basically off the same assembly line as the normal M&P 15. It just doesn't have a forward assist, which, if you go back into the design history of the AR-15, Eugene Stoner didn't want the forward assist at all. The forward assist doesn't work. It makes any malfunction that you might have worse. It literally serves no purpose, but the military wanted it, and then it just became part of the design. Look, they might grind you. Although the one time I did have to present my firearm to a policeman, and they had to check my license while I was carrying it, and I was carrying my Section 16. It wasn't a problem for them at all. And it was loaded with hollow points too. The official actually knew what he was doing. Brian's selling his Gen 3 Glock in the next few years. It's heavily used, as one would imagine with Brian. Like, he shoots his guns. I mean, he shoots. He doesn't put them and shoots the gun with another gun. That's not what I mean. I mean, he actually fires bullets out of his guns. Any chance CHS can update their website? It needs an upgrade. I will be polite and talk to Azzy about, because I recently did change a few things on it, but I will chat to what one can do to make it better. Look, at least the commercial side of it, the web store works really well. Or at least I found it does. Not unfair at all. The live stream helped a lot and got some new awesome me. Okay, fair deal. I'll send you a cap for a pair of sunnies. That's a fair trade for me. I'll definitely take it. Is it worth to go through the legal process to get a firearm? Absolutely. It looks worse than it is from the outside looking in. And the first application is always the worst because it always takes the longest and you always have the least amount of patience and you always, it's this quagmire of thing. I don't know if you've watched the video I made on this or read the article I made on it. It's on my YouTube channel, How to License a Firearm. And on that video, it actually links to the article I wrote that also explains it and which forms you need and stuff. It's not that bad, I promise. And I can highly recommend it. And go through it. Become a part of the family. Go on this journey, and we'll help you. I promise we will. Shakura, I've heard multiple times from different people that you can't shoot an attacker unless they shoot you first. No, no, that's not true at all. So the legal definition of justified use of lethal force is you must perceive the attacker as life-threatening. Why is the word perceive important? Because if someone is pointing a water pistol at you, but it looks like a real gun, you perceive that as being a life-threatening attack on you, and you can respond with lethal force legally. The other person is also guilty, according to the Criminal Procedures Act, of pointing a firearm, even though it's not a real gun. So you can't point a water pistol at someone and then be like, oh, no, it wasn't real, it's a water pistol. Like that, you just committed a criminal offense of pointing a firearm, even though it wasn't a firearm, okay? Also, the attack must either be imminent or have already begun. And somebody trying to draw a gun on you is part of initiating attack. There are many things that telegraph that you are under attack. The person mustn't first like put a blade in you or fire a shot at you or be physically on top of you. That's not what a violent confrontation is, and you don't have to wait that long. If you wait that long, you're probably going to be dead. Okay. There's something called the Twiller Drill, Tueller drill. Go look that up, about a knife wielding attacker covering. Basically, it's just a experiment that proves that if someone is coming at you with a knife, the minimum distance that most people will need between them and the attacker to draw a gun and fire a shot is 21 feet, 7 meters. Anything closer than that, and the chances of the guy, unless you start moving and doing other defensive things, of getting the blade into you is very good. So that's why unarmed combative is a very important part of the skill set I recommend people get. It also changes your thinking, and it helps you recognize how people telegraph attacks. The average person who's never actually been under attack might not recognize the signs of being under attack, which is why there's a lot of confusion about this. And I really went off on a tangent here, but no, they most certainly don't have to shoot you first. How do you get behind your idea in a helpful way to license a person register the firearm? There's going to be several campaigns that are hopefully going to launch soon. That should already have launched this week, but DRSA, who's my partner, is Rob Hutchinson, is overwhelmed with shit he's dealing with. So that's going to just hang tight a bit. Going to discuss it with Big Daddy Liberty, hopefully on Sunday, on one of his shows that he will put on his channel. We need to get more people talking about it, Matt. So if you can share that article I wrote, if we can get this in the public consciousness, keep it in the public consciousness, and start getting mass behind it, that would be a really good way of winning that particular court of public opinion battle, which I think we should. Good evening, JC. Good to see you here, sir. Keith just kind of answered my question already. Now it's jumped ahead because I was always slow on the my choice of beverage is Jack Daniels, but I'm taking it easy because I don't have a lot of it left, and we still need to get through the booze ban in one piece. Les Laurie, I know he was referring to my Dr. PA. If they were in any way interested in making revenue, they would have fined everyone and renewed their licenses. Give my fortune. Any thoughts on thread barrels and EDC handguns? Look, the point of a threaded barrel, right, is to fit a silencer / suppressor. Hang on, I just touched Brian on his studio by telling him he does look after his guns. I mean, Brian is has 2 modes, which is soft and hard, but he does look after his guns. And yes, I second this opinion down here, very much so. There's nothing inherently wrong with a threaded barrel on a defensive handgun. You're obviously not going to carry it with a silencer or suppressor, but it is a nice thing to have if you're going to make use of it and shoot subsonic ammo, which all of the heavier grain 9mm is by default. And it's nice and quiet and it's fun. But you know what? There are people that conceal full-size service pistols. A little bit of extra barrel length might not be a problem unless the gun's already massive. I mean, let's say, for example, you're not going to buy an HK Mark 23 as your defensive handgun. That would not be a good idea. In fact, it's by the way, for those who don't know, go Google it. It's humongous. It's a huge pistol. It's actually an offensive handgun. That was the whole point of the project by U.S. Special Operations Command, who uses it. CZPO7 Tactical Nightlight and Roni using for house cleaning exercise. Something is on the horizon, gentlemen. If you don't want a Roni, you can always get a CZ Scorpion Evo. Really cool 9mm carbine. They are slightly pricier than a Roni. I mean, pricier, I mean like 5 times the price. Instead of 4,100 Rand for the Roni, you're looking at like 20K for the CZ. But really good. If your farm is registered for hunting and used for self-defense, you go to it. No, there's in fact been numerous cases of elderly folk using their hunting rifles defensively under extreme duress, might I add, which proved 2 things. One, if that's all you have and you can get your hands on it and you can get it into play, it's still a game changer, as unwieldy as it might be for that purpose. And 2, no. Let me ask it to you this way. If all the legal requirements for lethal force and private defense are met, the implement makes no difference. Let's look at this another way. If you are attacked by a gang in your house and you wrestle an AK-47 off of one of them, you're unarmed. And in the struggle, you get an AK off them, and you gun them all down while they're attacking you, you are now using an unlicensed firearm that you don't even own for self-defense. Would anyone prosecute you for doing that under the circumstances? No, because you lawfully defended your life with lethal force, but with what you had available at the time. So no, no. I know that's an extreme example. But yes, that's basically, don't worry about it too much. Sorry, I had to leave quickly. I have a CZ. I'm in Johannesburg East. Unfortunately, I don't have money to get something more upgraded. Laura, email me, and I promise I will try and give you a call, and let's talk anyway, because there might be a way around it. But for now, what you have is still good. It's still going to be much more useful than a pointy stick, and it can project lethal force. Mindset, remember, mindset leads, training feeds, equipment follows. Equipment is the 3rd pillar, the least important pillar out of the 3. It's still important. We're not saying, rubbish equipment, but you can still make that equipment work for you. So let me not be glib and self-serving here. Join GOSA as well. They wrote me and my wife's motivations for Section 13 and then helped trace them up. So I'm glad GOSA came through for you, Anton. I really am. That's exactly what GOSA should be doing, and that's good work. And I'm, again, more of a behind on the... Okay, I'm not that far behind on the comments. No. Okay, warning shots. Let me just... People are going to disagree with me on warning shots because I don't like them. Other people say they have a place. I've seen warning shots work in practice. So let me not be dogmatic, okay? It's not like, all warning shots are automatically bad. I'm just of the opinion that under duress, they might be difficult to pull off successfully for the reason that you are still responsible ultimately where the bullet ends up. That includes ricochets. are you 100% confident that where you're shooting into the ground, that bullet's going to not hurt an innocent person or an innocent third party or something like that? Sorry, my house is just kind of falling to pieces around me. Don't worry about the noise. If the roof comes down, I'll just deal with it. Warning shots are a bit of a matter of debate. The other thing is, if someone's attacking you and you need to defend yourself, firstly, warning shot wastes time. It wastes ammo. And if it doesn't change the guy's mind, you've already lost opportunity to stop the attack where it is with lethal force, because lethal force is either justified or it's not. But yeah, it's ultimately up to you and up to the situation, but there's no legal requirement. Let's just answer that first. There's no legal requirement to fire a warning shot before defending yourself at all. Bye, Laurie. Thanks for tuning in. Knife attack, 7 seconds. Yep. Sounds about right. They're legal. They're not particularly high capacity, and they take some skill to use, by the way. But yeah. Is there a site that shows different types of guns and descriptions so that I can think about which one would be good and comfortable for me? South Africa's pretty shit with this kind of resource, but I will send you what I have pertaining to choosing. It's more about the fundamentals of choosing a gun that works for you. And since speak to Lynette, because they've got an inventory, and it would be good that she exposes you to different ones that are there for you to look at and take it from there. But we'll help you on this journey to find something that works for you, that's ergonomic to your lifestyle. That's also important. That's it. Nice gun 21. That's what I was talking about. The psychology of combat is the most interesting part. I love that component. The early threat recognition and similar. Exactly. Thanks, Brian. Brian is a big combative psychology fundy, and he knows his shit. Thanks, Werner. That's exactly the type of thing I want to try and push. Recommend any gun for someone who's not that into guns. With me, use it for self-defense at home. Look, and again, I'm not a brand fanboy, okay? My defensive gun for a long time was a H&K USP 9mm. Very big, bulky frame, full-size service pistol, worked beautifully. I used it in the defensive shooting. It did what it had to do. But we have an export ban of spare parts and firearms from Germany, thanks to Angela Merkel and a whole bunch of other bullshit. So it's not really my everyday carry anymore. And I defaulted to a Glock 19 for several reasons. One, slightly more compact. Two, big ass frame. I mean, big ass slide. You can get your meaty paws on that thing and manipulate it under duress quite easily, and not get hung up on external controls and stuff. It's a Toyota Hilux or Corolla of firearms. It's ugly, but it's reliable and it's easy to maintain. So if I had to recommend an edit-proof fighting handgun for self-defense, Glock 19. If it's too chunky, look at the Glock 43X. The other excellent pistols, Smith & Wesson M&P 9 series, M&P Shield, really good ones to look at as well. They're excellent firearms. And CZPO 9, I believe, is also fairly good. I've heard good things about it. I'm not a CZ fan myself. They make excellent sport shooting handguns. The Shadow and Shadow 2 are superb. The CZ Scorpion Evo is an excellent 9mm carbine. I really like their guns. I think they're good guns. I just don't think they're very good defensive handguns. That's my opinion. That's my personal opinion. It's not. I'm not God. I'm not gun Jesus or gun whatever. So please do not add excessive value to my opinion. But I would recommend seriously think about a Glock 19 if you want something edit proof and straightforward. This is why I chose a Glock 19, because I'm an idiot and it works for me. Big Daddy Liberty. What about? Yeah, Sicily is awesome. We're good. We're kind of good friends. I've known Sishu for a while, and he's the real deal. What you see is real. Like it's not an act. The man is off screen who he is on screen. He's consistent. He's a truly. If I can go as far as to blow this much smoke up his ass, and he'll probably give me a smack for it. But he is a great South African, and that's Sicily. License once and it's done, no silly renewals. Exactly. Renewals serve no purpose. That was part of my license the person thing. No numerical limits on what you can own. Finances are always a bigger restriction on the amount of guns people own. Arbitrary numerical restrictions by law are just senseless. Not even the UK has it. The UK has banned guns, like handguns and semi-auto rifles, because it was a stupid thing for them to do. But the guns you're allowed to own in the UK, there are no numerical limits at all. You can own as many bolt-action rifles and as many shotguns as you want. No limit whatsoever. And yeah, I mean, even the nanny state has more brain cells than the CFR in this country. Would you care to tell us more about your shooting incident? It's not too much of it's not a sensitive issue at all. They opened a murder docket. I'm running out of time a bit tonight, but I'll do another stream on this and we can unpack it a little bit. They opened a murder docket, but as a very good friend of mine in the National Prosecuting Authority said, a docket is a docket is a docket. Whether they call it an inquest docket or a murder docket ultimately doesn't matter. It was a gangster with a knife who tried murdering a friend of mine in front of me. And it was close. The distance was less than a meter between the two of them, and I was about 1.5 meters away from the assailant at an angle. So it was a shooting from the side. I got all the psychological and physiological stuff, the adrenaline dump, the auditory exclusion. I heard nothing, didn't hear the shots go off. I had full-blown tunnel vision. I only saw the guy and the knife. I don't recall seeing anything else in the peripheral. So all the stuff you read about, that's real. And when you come out of that adrenaline dump, your brain doesn't function. I couldn't unlock my cell phone to call the ambulance and call the cops. I looked at the screen. I didn't know what to do, even though I unlock it several times every single day of my life, to scream for somebody else on scene to do those calls for me, because I couldn't. I remember that as clear as day. This is true, but I meant Brian's mode with inanimate objects. Sorry, I just got your euphemism. Goodness gracious, this is a wonderful stream. And I'm still like, how far behind the comments am I? Like 5 minutes? Jeepers. Okay, no more than that. Very much more than that. Off the top of my head, Gavin De Baker's Gift of Fear. Left of Bang is another good. I recommend reading Left of Bang. I have not read Gift of Fear. But yeah, I need to, but we need to start a Brian and Gideon reading list. Chat to Arno Barlow about combatives. I recommend that to anybody. I know, right? And I called them Captured not all that long ago. Please do get in comms, Laura. I appreciate it. Best pistol. Oh, okay. We'll make this a Whiskey Friday topic, because I think all of us are going to vehemently disagree. It depends. Best pistol for what? Because there is no best pistol ever. There might be a best pistol for a specific sport division. There might be a best pistol for a law enforcement use. For concealed carry, South African self-defense, in my opinion, the pistol that best serves that purpose with all the constraints and everything around it is a Glock 19, but that's specific to that. And that's only my opinion, not because of any other dogmatic reason. Yeah. Nobody has money for warning shots, guys. Not with the price of ammunition these days. If my wife uses my license firearm to defend me or someone else, no. So if she's using it under your supervision, or if you are near her when she's doing it, then no. If she had to use it while you were away, strictly speaking, she'd be in violation of the law. You'd be in violation of the law for allowing her access to it. But ultimately, you also have to ask, what kind of prosecutor is going to say, I need to prosecute you for being negligent because you gave your wife access to the safe while you were away? You shouldn't do this, by the way. This is against the law. I'm just saying, in the event that happened, what sort of prosecutor is going to say, well, she defended herself against 3 murderers and rapists with your gun, but I'm going to lock you up and declare you unfit to possess. Look, I wouldn't put it past our judicial system to be that fucking stupid, but if you're in the house, like the law clearly states that any person can use your firearm under your supervision for a legal purpose. So if it's a legal purpose, like self-defense is a legal purpose, it's legal. We can indeed. Yeah, Brian says there's lots of the main sites where we went full blown into choosing guns, and Brian wrote some really good articles on it that I can highly recommend. Yep. JC actually nails it as well. let me just get through the last couple of ones before I need to call it a night. My wife asked if it would be a good idea to fire a warning shot into the organ if the church is attacked. It depends what you have against hymns, I suppose. The minister might not be, the church minister might not be very happy with you, but hey, it was indeed license section 13. It still is, still very much is. And we can dig more into this tomorrow, Skulls. Please do tune in. That is the guy from Forgotten Weapons is the one and only. Oh, sorry, I forgot the CZP10C. You see, I even forgot it existed. I'm really terrible with this. The SIG P365 is a great, SIGs are good pistols. SIGs are excellent pistols. I'm a bit unsure about the domestic support for them. That's the only reason I don't really talk about them. But that's the only reason. There's nothing wrong with the actual product. I'm just the same reason I wouldn't recommend HK to anyone right now. You can still get them. And if you are into that sort of boutique hating yourself, pay a lot of money for spare parts and be okay with waiting a long time for them, like I am about certain things myself. I am guilty of that. I can, but for the average guy, I can't say no. Get an HK. They are excellent handguns. Heckler and Kochs are superb pistols, but it's a struggle to get them, and it's a struggle to get parts. So, being a pastor, I believe that in dire circumstances, it's fine to sanctify the perpetrator and make them holy. This is the comment of the night. I'm Sam. I'm gonna give you that award. Please do. As soon as interprovincial shit's ready, please do send me. You can pretty much always find me at CHS Guns and Ammunition, Somerset West. Guys, thank you for the super chats. You guys were awesome. Thank you for being such a supportive group of people. Thank you for listening to the shit I talk. Thank you for buying my merchandise. I've got a couple of other ideas that I would like to do with the site in order to take it in some cool directions, not necessarily new directions, just other directions in order to expand a bit on it. But that's something we can discuss another night when I don't have dishes to go do. Again, lekker slaap, stay safe, stay frosty. See you tomorrow for Whiskey Friday with the 5-some of us that are going to be on Whiskey Friday tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And hopefully I've got another article. I'm busy writing an article that'll be pretty cool when it's done, which is hopefully tomorrow. Lekker slaap, lekker aand. And hang on, just Bernie, what are my thoughts on four-headed red what? Can I say, send me an email? Yes, hoodies are coming, Brian. I already discussed this earlier in the thing. Hi, Lisa, and good night. Lekker slaap.